Today, October 13th, 2022, class number 428, and the title, Realization is Demonstration. Now, we want to start off with what I think we ought to always start out with every morning, not just listening at a class, but every morning before we get going. We need to turn our attention to what God is. That's the most important part of the day. And I like Neville's definition of God, and I combine it with Joel Goldsmith's, and that is, Neville says, my awareness of being, my awareness that I am is God. Joel Goldsmith says God is consciousness, which is the same thing because consciousness is my awareness that I am. And so as we move along in that understanding that my awareness of being, my awareness that I am, and that consciousness is God, then God, consciousness, is the Father, which Jesus called Abba, which means daddy. So that means I am the daddy of my experiences. And I choose what those experiences are going to be based on my understanding of what I am. Now, that which I become aware of, you see, it's like unconditioned consciousness. It's just, as Neville calls it, faceless, formless, just being. You know, at the end of everything, no matter what, I still am. I don't care whether the world ends. I don't care whether people go and come out of your life. You still are. And that's the resurrection. I remember Jesus said, I am the resurrection. He was the only I am awareness that resurrected his body, that somebody could touch the nail prints in his wrist, could touch the wounds in his side, because that, his body, he allowed them to see that. However, we know that there are no nail prints and spear piercings in the perfect body of God. But that was what Thomas needed to see. So therefore, the faith of Thomas, understanding that he could have whatever he needed in order to believe and move forward, that picture, that image was given him. Jesus said, hey, put your hand here. You can feel it. Yep. However, we know that the perfection of God, what God has done, is done forever, Ecclesiastes. And that which is to be has already been, and that which has been is right now. So God did not make God. Remember, every time I say God, you're thinking consciousness. Consciousness can do what? It can reveal itself as a man with piercing in his hands and piercings in his side, and it can also reveal itself as man without it. That which I am, I am. Now, that which I become aware of is my son, bearing witness to the Father. The thing that I want is my son. I am unconditioned awareness, become aware of my experience as whatever that is, and if I totally stay in that feeling, enveloped in that feeling, and then, for the strangest reason, you'll forget about what you thought you needed, and you'll go on to something else. And then, I don't know when. It's always now. But in this three-dimensional world, maybe tomorrow something shows up. Happened to me this week. Things will just show up in your life, something that you decided that you wanted, and you knew you wanted it, and you didn't go after it, and you left it alone, and you just went on to the next thing, and whatever it is you had to do, your mind got off of not having it. And because your mind gets off of not having it and it stopped at, I have this, so I'm just going to leave this alone, it shows up as a form. Jesus also said, I and my Father are one, but my Father is greater. We realize that the Father, which I am, is the conceiver. And it has to be greater than that which it conceives, because that which it conceives cannot conceive itself. I am conceives of something, and that something is lesser than what I am, yet it is one with me. My awareness that I am, as I said, we got to remember that now. That is God. That is the Father. Now, with all of that as an introduction and understanding constantly that which I am, then the two that agree in the house, they become totally enveloped in this feeling of agreement, the conceiver and its concept. And these two are in agreement. I really want this, and I really have this. Now I'm in agreement. That always generates a feeling, because that what you want has an image. And the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, so that means I have it. So this image that I'm feeling good about, and I move on to loving my neighbor as myself. I get my mind off of that thing and start thinking about who I am. Thou is able to keep at perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee. I'm constantly realizing all throughout the day, I am the Father consciousness conceiving of harmony, peace, bearing fruit, loving, doing the wonderful, my purpose. Hallowed be thy name. That means my name set apart for a specific purpose. It is hallowed. It is holy. That means it's whole. That means my name is that which I am. And I, the Lord. Now, this is what we really have to understand, because we can misunderstand what is meant when it says in Isaiah 45, I, the Lord, make good and evil. You see, if there is no other Lord other than the Lord I am, and I become aware and focus my attention on expressing something that is uncomfortable, discordant, something that is erroneous. If I focus my attention on that, there's a feeling that's going to come with it. And that thing is, because I feel it, it is going to come into my space, my experience, because I have as unconditioned consciousness, I have conditioned something called error. And that error, as I am feeling it, if I don't let that feeling go, as I am feeling it, it's going to come into my experience. I had that happen to me about 10 minutes before I was ready to come and make the call or dial in and get on the conference. And as it was something I got ready to do, and it was like, but this might happen. I was like, oh, wow, that's doubt. I already realize now that I don't move into that with that feeling of something else might happen. Let it go. Let all else go and follow me. So how do I let it go? I just stopped, and I started realizing I am. That's all I did. I just kept saying I am. I just kept feeling I am. I am. And then it was like, I conceived peace. And the feeling came, and I let it go. And then right behind it, a little voice, it hit me. I looked down at my notes, and I had looked right down at Isaiah 45:11. Command ye me. Remember, we talked about that last week. So we command in consciousness. That which we're giving attention to, that which we're focused on, we're commanding to come into our experience. Command ye me. This is what it says, concerning the children of men and the work of my hands. Now, how do I do that? I just explained it. Commands are made in consciousness. Consciousness aware of itself as that which is desired. Now, add this to it. Or that which is unwanted. If I don't have any doubt, it expresses. Because I expressed it in consciousness. I demonstrated it in consciousness. I realized this could possibly happen. All things are possible if you can believe. So the moment I start thinking about this just might happen, it's on its way if I keep feeling that. Because if I stay enveloped in the feeling of the thing that I just thought, I expressed it already in consciousness. And if I don't go back and dig it up, if I don't go back and say, wait a minute, that is not the right thing. And you might say, well, wait a minute. Michael, are you saying that my life is based on how I feel? No, your life is exactly perfect, but how you feel alters your experience. So all day long, the feelings that you are carrying, you are going to express. Those of you who are going in stores and saying, I'm feeling that I'm going to get right in here and I'm going to get right back out. Before I get in my car to go drive off, I get this little feeling of the presence. And once I get this feeling of the presence, I know that my trip is assured to be peaceful and that only I can alter that. And I don't want to alter that, so therefore I stay enveloped in the feeling of it's okay, because once I felt it, I let it go and move on to the best possible route that I want to take, wherever it is that I'm going. Remember this. I, consciousness, make all things. All things were made by him. So if I make all things, that means I make this is where we need to understand. I make my experience one of good, or I make it one of evil. When I say evil, I mean error. Something that comes against my peace, my peaceful state, something that starts challenging it. We were laughing. I told Kenny yesterday, we were talking, and I said, you know what? There's a post that I'm thinking about putting on Facebook, and it was, I have a new definition of Satan, and that definition is my mind being stupid and entertaining beliefs and thoughts that are opposite or opposing the truth, the knowledge of what God is. And he was like, well, you won't get a whole lot of people responding to that with hearts and likes because you're asking people to say that their mind can be stupid. Well, I'm telling you, mine can. And the moment I start seeing it be stupid and going off into this might happen and that might happen and it's opposing that which I know to be true, I know that I need to get rid of that piece of stupidity because I'm making it up, and I don't need to do that because what God has done is done forever. So you ask what you truly want in my name. But it's not so much with voicing it or speaking it out, but it's primarily with, I've just had thoughts of things that I wanted and never even mentioned it to somebody. Bing. I thought about somebody, I've gone in the room and said, watch. I never said a word, just thought, wow, I'm getting ready to do X, Y, Z. Maybe I'm getting ready to do my sit-ups. I'm getting ready to do whatever it is that I'm planning on doing. I said, now watch the phone ring. Have you ever done that? And then bing, the phone will ring, and it'll be something that's going to take you off into a long conversation. And you have to make a decision whether you're going to do it or whether you're going to say, you know what, can I call you back in about 15 minutes? Because you thought it, you felt it, and it's coming. So not so much with the mouth do you ask for what you truly want, but what you realize with conviction, which is the feeling of this is fulfilled, this is mine, that is expressed in consciousness because the Son, that which you thought about, that which you conceived, is one with you. And it is expressed in consciousness. I become conscious of having it by feeling it. So once I feel it and I have it, what's my next move? Thank you, Father. See, thank you, Father, is the Son. That thing that you totally desire, turning back like the 10 lepers and the one turned back to Jesus and said, thank you. That is the Son turning back to the Father saying, thank you. I was in here and I just wanted to be born. I was knocking at the door asking to let me out. Let me express in your experience, and you let me out by way of, okay, go ahead. Come on out. And that thing is saying thank you. But that's also you, because your conception of I'm thankful, I'm grateful, there'll be, oh man, I mean, it could be millions of things that you could be thankful for. And you just allow yourself to feel that it's all right. And thank you, Father, is the feeling of gratitude and consciousness. I call it my assurance. Now, I've done, up to this point, everything to bring about the thing that I truly desire, right? So what is next? Mark 11 and 25. Because there's one thing that can kind of hold it back, and it'll keep popping in, and you'll wonder, why am I having these thoughts about this person or this thing or what happened the last time or this whatever. That's you telling yourself, forgive. If I hold aught against anybody or anything, forgive. God requires your past. God requires those that have persecuted you. God will avenge that. But the only way that God, your unconditioned consciousness, can avenge the hurt, the wrongs, the condemnations, things that people have placed against you, the only way that can happen is you must forgive it. You must You must give it for the truth. Jesus looked at the lady and said, where are your accusers? She said, I don't have any. He said, then neither do I condemn you. So I have to constantly look within myself to say, have I condemned anything that I have not forgiven? And if I am truly looking for that which I have condemned, which I have not forgiven, it'll spring up. It'll come up. It's one of those weeds that you have to get rid of so that the garden of your fruits and vegetables can grow without being hindered. Forgiveness releases condemnation of myself and all that I have condemned. All this constitutes demonstration. Now, I don't have anything standing in the way. I have nothing that is causing me to not give form to that which I desire. I am the resurrection. I resurrect all of the good that is embodied in my consciousness because I have nothing that's causing it to not come forth. I was talking to a friend the other day, the same friend that asked me, the same friend that said, why does God let bad things happen to good people? And, we went through that. We said, there's no such thing as a good man. Jesus said, why are you calling me good? There's none good but God. But God cannot stop what has been conceived and felt. God cannot stop it if a person says, you usually say, I feel something coming on. I feel sick. That feeling is the demonstration. And I said to him, God is like an ocean of all good. And God will let anybody get in it. A person can come and say, I feel sick, and get in and just still be Son of God, the I amness. However, look at everybody. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. Now look at all of the people who are in this great ocean of God. Everybody on the planet. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they are, what do you call them, despots. I don't care if they are autocrats. Those are names that we have given to people who are in search of power to manipulate and hold hostage other people. So, but they're in that ocean. Now, how many people can in that ocean find I am the way and stay in that ocean by being I am the way? It says, straight is the gate and narrow is the path that leads to eternal life. Few there be that find it. Most people are getting in the ocean of good and evil, and they're staying in it. Jesus is saying, John 15:7, abide in me. Abide in who you are. The me is the I am awareness that I am God. And abide in that all day, all night, 24/7, never coming out of it. Just realize that I don't care if what's coming at me appears to be opposite, opposing God. I am in this ocean of perfect good, and I am staying in the ocean of perfect good. I'm not darting in and darting back out. I'm not darting in and darting back out. I'm abiding in it. I am constantly saying within me, now I don't have to walk around. Somebody will think you're crazy if you walk around in the store going, I am, I am, I am. That's not what he's asking us to do. But nobody is going to think that you're nuts if they don't hear the fact that you're thinking, I am. Just unconditioned awareness, I am. And whatever it is that I'm looking for, I am. Now, over in John 8:31 and 32, Jesus says, if you continue in my word, now that abide is again, if you continue in this word, I am, and my words abide in you, you will ask what you will, and it will be done unto you. You shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. I think I mixed up John 15 and John 8, but it says, you are my disciples indeed. You are following me if you continue in my word. You will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. What is the truth? I am the truth. I am the truth. We have to constantly reaffirm within ourselves that creation is finished. However, for some reason, somebody taught us that we could create what we want. And so we start creating error, evil, when we let something foreign enter into our consciousness. Well, what is something foreign? I need this because I don't have it. Yet, God said all things are yours. But I don't have, and you can put whatever behind it you want, and that you will constantly express lack because you're expressing it in consciousness. We have to realize this because the realization is the demonstration. We, as the Son of God, we have choice. Romans 8. He gave us choice in the hope that we would choose rightly. What is choosing rightly? Choosing to be that which I am and conceiving only that which is good, and only that which is good is my conception that I have that which appears to be necessary in my expressed experience. That's the best way I can put it. As the Father consciousness, we are absolute. It is so. It is firm. Amen. And so it is. Now, in and of my expressed human self, we are tempted to entertain separation, which we call duality. Remember, all things were made by him. All things. That used to give me fits. Could God have made evil? Could God have made all of these different things flipping back and forth? When we understand that we are the perfect consciousness, why would we make evil? Because somebody told us that we could have what we say, and then we add that feeling to it, and we start saying that which is not true and feeling it, and it looks like we make an appearance that is discordant. That's where we have to draw the line. What am I about to make? Well, I don't need to make anything because that which I desire is already made. So here I am, the I am being, the I am awareness, that which appears to be missing, it can't be missing because all things already are in existence. And as I posted the other day, in order for me to do the will of God, I must be taken care of. Now, the me that's saying must be taken care of is the out-expressed form, because that's what's taken care of, and I am taking care of it. I am expressing the reality of the truth. I am not coming against that which already is, and I am not condemning anybody. I am not condemning situations because that's the same thing as calling it evil. So I don't have to do any of that. I don't have to make anything. My purpose is to enjoy the abundance which is embodied in my Father consciousness, which is the one and only self. Isn't that wonderful? There's only one self, and I am that self, which is consciousness. I am the Lord, and I change not. That means I am the law of my experience. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. So, our consciousness, our awareness of the truth expresses itself as law in my experience. What I become aware of as the truth becomes the law in my experience. The law can't be broken. Somehow I read somewhere where somebody said, yeah, but whatever you believe and you bring it, that's a law. No, it's not, because those kinds of laws can be changed. We change them all the time. Let's see. In the political arena, this is the law handed down by the Supreme Court. All they got to do is change what somebody already decreed to be the law, and guess what? That law was just broken. But you cannot change the law of God, because what God has done is done forever. I can only have as a law pure, perfect good in my life experience. That's all I can have. That's all. I cannot have anything else. It may look like I have something else because of what we call hypnotism. And through that hypnotism, the only thing being hypnotized is our concept of what we are. Separated. Making things go from bad to worse. And in that hypnotism, we lose sight and express illusion. All things were made by him. All things made by him, consciousness, is God. The perfection is always there. But what happens is we appear to tarnish that through thinking. And Jesus said, take no thought for your life. Take no thought for how you're going to be taken care of. Seek first the kingdom, the counsel, the wisdom, the knowledge of truth. Seek who I am and stay in that, abide in that. That's that ocean. I am the ocean of all perfection. And as we see this illusion that's coming from the beliefs of the world, coming from the beliefs that we've been kind of tempted into accepting, we are not to fight with it. We are not to start taking affirmations and spiritual truths and slinging them at it like, David with a slingshot, slinging it and knocking down the giant. The way to knock down the giant is to realize the nothingness of the giant, to prove that that giant, which is calling itself something that is opposite of God, knowing the truth about God, our divine self, our I am awareness, we fulfill and we don't have to destroy. That thing destroys itself, just like the darkness appeared to be real and then you cut the light on. Yesterday I said, just like the snow melts and goes totally away when in contact with the sun, the illusion goes away because I am that which it contacts. When that illusion comes up and says, I am all powerful, and I realize, well, both of us can't be, so I am all powerful, this illusion starts to go away. Because the law of truth that I am sees beyond the veil. The truth appears to be veiled, but because we know I am the truth, I remove the veil constantly. And the spirit that I am reveals and demonstrates my God self, which is the only good. There is nothing good except my unconditioned consciousness. It is perfect. It does not condition itself to be error. Now, in that demonstration, we are letting go of the feeling of fear, of doubt, and the need to do something outwardly. And we do, what do they say? We let God do the work. My awareness of what the truth is does the work constantly. And in this world, what did he say? We will have tribulation. But fear not. See, there's the sin. You're making a mistake by fearing what appears to be coming against you. Fear not. I, divine, perfect, absolute consciousness, the truth, have overcome the world. It's just that simple. I know the truth. I am free. I don't care if it's veiled. I remove the veil the moment I realize this cannot be true. Okay, with all of that now, let's look at a couple of other things. Stuff like when in Job where it says you can decree a thing and it is so. Now, it is so can be misconstrued as I decree sickness and sickness is so. But we know sickness is not so. So if you translate it is so as you will experience it, that's coming from the duality that we talk about. But I decree truth and it is so means that's it. So if I'm only speaking truth, then truth is all there is. And if I am speaking that truth, it is so. It means I will experience only the truth. I will not experience error. My only experience, and this sounds like oxymoron, but it's not. My only experience of error is it is trying to stand at the door and knock and ask for entrance, but I'm standing there saying, nothing of an evil nature shall enter in. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Now, the more I'm thinking that, I am feeling that I am taken care of, because I am taking care of myself. I am keeping myself from accepting error, the appearances of something that's trying to tell me that it is the truth. Isaiah 55, the word does not return unto me void. That is truth. The thought, the feeling of I have truth in consciousness. That cannot return void. My awareness that I am accomplishes all whereunto it is sent. Where is it sent? It's sent to remove the veil and realize the fact that that there's some sense of myself that seems to feel that I don't have everything, when God says all things are yours. Now, we don't have to be at an impasse. We just have to know if all things are mine, then my things that are necessary appear to be veiled. But I am the truth. I am the removing of the veil. And once the veil is removed, that which appears to be veiling it dissipates. It destroys itself. Jesus said, I came to fulfill, not to destroy. That obviously means I'm not going to fight with this. When I read the Bible and I look, I don't see Jesus fighting with the Pharisees. I don't see Jesus fighting with stuff. I see Jesus realizing the truth. And because he's realizing the truth, he's realizing this can't be real. It looks like the people don't have enough to eat. Well, I am that. Those who drink my blood and eat my flesh, harmony comes. But look at the people that could not deal with that unless you eat my flesh and drink my blood. Blood is life. Flesh is bread. I am the bread. I am the life. Charles Fillmore said eating is to appropriate. If I am appropriating, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life, I am the bread, I am the resurrection, I am the shepherd, I am leading and conceiving my true thoughts, and I am expressing them through my son consciousness, and it is appearing as that which is bearing witness to that which I am. The work accomplished is my awareness of my desire as conceived and possessed. It's mine. It cannot ever not be mine. Now, when I bring something into my experience that is discordant, that's not mine. That's something somebody else either believed, or that's something that my sense of self believed. I can easily rid, that word is, that's how we started. Realization is demonstration. I can rid myself of error by not contemplating it and what I need to do about it. I am all I need to do about it. And the feeling of this manifests the symbol, the peace. I noticed that peace always comes before something is totally manifested in my life, in my experience. I really focused on something that I saw the other day that the kicker for the Baltimore Ravens, Justin Tucker, said. Justin Tucker said, I don't pray that I make the field goal. And right now, he is like the most accurate field goal kicker in football. He said, I don't pray that I make the field goal. Right before I go to make the kick, I ask for peace. I ask for peace. Isn't that amazing? That's all I'm asking for, peace. And look at what peace has done for him, because he is the most accurate kicker in football. You see, the thing I desire is the thing I receive because I feel it. And in this feeling of I have it, there is no doubt. This is law. Now, when he says I make good and evil, I have choice. As the son, I have choice. Lillian DeWaters has a beautiful discourse on that where she says, God, the I am, the complete, perfect consciousness, does not have choice. It is. I just am. But the son has choice, just like the prodigal son. He had choice. He chose to take his lot. He divided it up. All was his, but he said, give me my portion. See, I'm choosing to take a portion. No, I'm choosing to take it all. Like the Count of Monte Cristo. The world is mine. You might say, well, how can the world be yours and it's also mine and it's also my daughter's, my husband, my wife, my friends? How can all of us own it all? Because the self, which is I am, is all there is. And I am owns it all. I don't have a portion. It is infinite. And so, therefore, this law of all things are mine, it still exists as a reality, even though I take a portion and go off into a foreign country, a far land, and end up in a pigsty, end up totally in debt, can't figure out how to pay my way out, cannot understand how to not get sick, cannot understand how to not condemn folks, how to I forgive, but yet in my heart it hasn't happened. Until I have the feeling of forgiveness, then I don't have anything. I just have words. And you see, because you have choice, you can turn and go back home. And because you come to your reality of yourself as the Son of God, you are immediately back home. And that which you desired starts fulfilling itself in your experience. The formed thing in consciousness, that starts to experience itself as that bearing witness of who you are. I am that. The Son is forever in the bosom of the Father and is birthed as form in my experience. When I realize truth, I believe this. When I realize I believe this and I know this, now the Son comes forth as. There is only now, because when we believe, when is it? Now. The moment I believe, it's now. And that's the moment I manifest. That's the moment I demonstrate. I demonstrate that feeling. The symbol is going to show up because the signs always follow. They do not precede. Now faith is understanding. It is the substance of that which I desire. Well, the moment I realize that I am the substance of that which I desire, it says, when the understanding comes, this is Solomon, it is a tree of life. Remember, it says in the garden, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil were both planted there. Well, man's true self, the tree of life, is planted in there, and this sense of self is also planted in there. You have choice as the Son. I am the tree of life, standing by the rivers of water, expressing fruit, constantly. We've got to continue to remember John 8:31. If you continue in my word, then are you my disciples indeed. 32, you shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. We have to constantly allow John 15:7 to continue to reveal itself in our consciousness. 15:7, if you abide in me and my words abide in you, ask what you will, what you wish, and it will be done. Well, who wishes to have sickness and disease? Who wishes error? Who wishes sin? Nobody. Nobody wishes that. What you wish is to be free, to not have to fight with stuff, to be able to receive and know I am the truth, I am free, and those things that are necessary in my life are already there. I am the resurrection. I just need to raise them up out of my consciousness and bring them forth. In that, we rid ourselves of the illusion of the false self and its hypnosis. We experience the feeling of the two in agreement in the house. We experience the thought and the feeling. We experience the truth that I am, divine consciousness, and the truth that I am, the Son of God. We feel that, and we realize our demonstration. In this house, in the consciousness that God is, that I am, realization is demonstration. Amen. And so it is.